and welcome back to Whovian Espresso, and today there has been an interesting announcement made from various Doctor Who related sources, including Mick Finish and the Doctor Who Twitter account, is the Doctor Who Time Lord Victorious, sorry, I'm getting used to the Timeless Child arc now, but here, it started last night when this weird sort of trailer, I guess, or teaser dropped on Facebook, on the Doctor Who Facebook page. It then quickly got out to the Big Finish page, and it was quickly shared around Twitter. I was interested to see that the Doctor Who Instagram and Twitter pages never posted this video, but I mean, I was a bit unsure at first whether it was supposed to have been put up or not, because I didn't see it on Instagram or Twitter, but then it got shared, the sources, so it got onto Twitter eventually, but there were lots of theories about this, no one really knew what it was, until today when the full details were revealed, and I've just taken some screenshots from a Big Finish article which I'm going to read to you and explain my thoughts on. So the article starts off by saying that BBC Studios is pleased to announce the new Doctor Who multi-platform story launching on so many mediums it's unreal. So we have Penguin Random House, which is the book company I presume, Doctor Who magazine, obviously DWM, Titan Comics, which makes comics funnily enough, and the Escape Pod, which is a bit odd, Big Finish Productions, Eagle Moss Hero Collective, which surprised me, Immersive Everywhere, Maze Theory, and BBC Books and Audio. Now this is an interesting one, because this is I like the idea of this. I'm not going to pretend that I find the idea of a incredibly complicated, overarching Doctor Who massive bonanza, I guess. But the first thought to me when I saw this was, damn, that's going to be expensive, because there is a lot in there to collect, and as I'm going to get onto, there are some guides that you also have to buy, so they're going to be the first thing, and they retail about £10 each. I'm going to get to them in more detail later though, but then you've got the figurine collection, which is like $9.99 an issue, I think, last time I checked. Big Finish CDs range between $8.99 and £30 a box set. I don't even know how much a Doctor Who trip to one of these escape game things or whatever. I'm guessing that Maze Theory, because I remember when I saw the ad for Edge of Time, Maze Theory was it. I'm guessing they're to do with VR. And VR sets are expensive. I mean, if you don't already have a VR set and they suddenly launch a VR game, and you're interested in the comics and the books and stuff, how are you going to be able to afford to complete the story? That's just something that I think might be a bit worrying, is that it's not as straightforward to collect. And to me, I think this is only going to appeal to hardcore fans, whereas a more traditional merchandise route like Doctor Who's taken in the past hasn't always just appealed to hardcore fans. I mean, there are fans who dibble and dabble in comics each week, they just grab whatever they're interested in or whatever, and then there's fans who dibble and dabble in the books, or maybe they just collect the books. Now, if they want to complete the story from the books, they have to buy all this other stuff. So, for me, I don't think I would even be able to afford even all of this at all. I'd be interested to see how people coordinate what to buy and what not to buy, because there is no way that everyone's going to be able to afford all of this unless they institute some serious discount codes or something. Because I rarely buy Big Finish as it is. I've only really got into it because of Spotify and the free releases. The only Big Finish I've ever actually bought is the 10th Doctor releases. I know it's pretty bad because I know I like the 10th Doctor, okay? But yeah, the first thing, that was just a bit, like, very expensive. That was the first thought I had. But there are lots of positives to this, as I will get to. I don't want to be like a big Debbie Downer on this or whatever. I just think that might be a problem. At the bottom there, it also suggests that this will be multiple different products, so that means more than one of each figurine or whatever. So, I mean, again, expensive. But it also says we're going to be getting a full release date, which comes in conjunction with the Amazon links that I found for these things, which we're going to get to in a minute. It also says there is going to be over a 12-week period, which is looking like September, October to January, February 2021. So September, October this year is when it'll probably launch, which again comes in conjunction with the links which I'm about to share with you. So here it says, Time Lord Victorious will tell a new and untold story set within the dark times. All very interesting there. I'm guessing Time War. It does certainly look from the picture that we got like it could be Time War. Where at the start of the universe, so maybe not the Time War. When the Eternals were young. So that could be Omega. I'm guessing Omega, or whatever goes on there. We'll see. Several Doctors. Again in a minute. As they define the home planet, which isn't really their home planet anymore, from a terrible race. This is a story like no other. So, several Doctors, they did say, later on in the article, they've confirmed that the 8th Doctor, the 9th Doctor, and the 10th Doctor are going to be the main focus of this story. It certainly looks like these Eternals, in my opinion, could be like the Founding Fathers, but which we explored in Series 12, so it could link into a potential, that arc, on the Timeless Child arc, which could be interesting, because I just want more context on when all this has come from, the Timeless Child arc. I mean, I have mixed feelings about the Timeless Child, as I've stated on this channel before, so it would be nice to get some more information about what the Timeless Child means. So we'll see if this links into that or not, but in terms of it being a big bombastic tale, I can believe that. I think it'll be very exciting. Okay, so here we have some exciting reveals. As I mentioned, the 8th and 9th Doctors will be involved, but also the companion Rose Tyler, as played by Billie Piper, and monsters including the Daleks and the Ood, with more obviously to be revealed in the coming months. Rose Tyler, that's an interesting one. Rose Tyler is sort of a bit, I don't know, I guess it makes some sense to bring her back. I mean, she was a companion to the 9th and 10th Doctors. Obviously, it'll be interesting to know if she travels with the 9th Doctor or the 10th Doctor in this, or whether there be some kind of reunion for the 10th Doctor. He kind of had that with Journey's End and Stolen Earth. You see, the thing is, I think, for me, Rose Tyler's story is done. There is no more to say about it. I would far rather have had Martha be in this, because I think Martha is a character that's often overlooked and really never gets anything to do in terms of spin-off media. She's often, I mean, she hasn't had a Big Finish series yet. I mean, Donna's had 2. So I would probably, again, rather have Donna over Rose. But, I mean, Rose is just... I listened to the Big Finish. The first audios that I actually bought were the 10th Doctor Volume 2 with the 10th Doctor and Rose, and they were good. They were fine. But I mean, I think the Doctor and 10th Doctor and companion dynamic that works best is the Doctor and Donna. But I also really would just like to see Martha get back in there at some point. I mean, this probably could be completely not in Big Finish, this bit, but I feel like Billie Piper has an association with Big Finish, and so does David Tennant, so does Paul McGann, so I feel like Big Finish is definitely going to be at the core of this, particularly as this is a Big Finish article. In terms of the Daleks, Big Finish has done Daleks and Time War to death at this point, I won't lie. I've not listened to any of it, apart from The Innocent, which was the free download, so I mean, I don't know, is there really much else to go? I just see constant, more places to go in terms of the Time War. I mean, I had enough of it by the end of the day of the Doctor, but people have been going on about the Time War for years in terms of Big Finish releases. There are just like so many Big Finish releases. I mean, just recently I saw a trailer for Susan's War, which explores what Susan did in the Time War. I was like, I mean, isn't it enough? Haven't we had enough about the Time War? I feel like it's just been done to death at this point. I think it was better when we didn't know this much about it, personally, but, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see. Okay, so here we have a statement from James Goss, who seems to be the producer of all this. It says, BBC Studios, Doctor Who licensees have all come together to tell an epic tale. We'll see. I think it'd be epic. I definitely think it'd be epic. Let's see. One that's full of monsters, fun and heart, which means that there probably are more monsters to be announced. They did also mention the Ood, but yeah. It said, all strands of the story will unite in a mighty patchwork of ranges that will end from one end of the universe to the next. Sorry, it's just, I don't think it's a good idea to have them all connected, because then that's going to mean that everyone's going to want to be able to try and build all of it, and no one's going to be able to afford it. I'm just saying. From one end of the universe to the next, there's more to be revealed, which means even more money going into the BBC bank account. Sorry. And that's about basically just saying how excited they are. So yeah, there's a lot going into this by the sounds of it. Lots of resources, lots of fun. And I will say this, it is fun to be reminded of a time when Doctor Who was on top of the world. And I definitely think that going back to the Tennant era in that respect is going to help it. There's essentially, I mean, I'm sorry, but in terms of ratings and merch, it is the golden era of Doctor Who. Whether it's your golden era in your opinion is up to you, but in terms of merch and ratings, it was the golden era of Doctor Who. At least New Who-wise. So to go back to that is obviously going to be a big deal, because going back to David Tennant's era is going to be so nostalgic for a lot of people, including me. I mean, I love some David Tennant. I think it's definitely going to be one of the best things to come out of this year, to be fair. I think this announcement is an incredibly exciting, thrilling thing. And the idea of products all from this theme lining the shelves really gets me excited. Because I love seeing massive displays of all kinds of merch for me to cherry pick from. And there is a key word, cherry pick. I can't afford to purchase all of these. I always feel really sad looking at other people's collections, seeing how much they have. So I mean, from a standard in terms of what the show represents in terms of inclusivity and being so everyone can afford everything, in terms of that, I mean, for a show that stands for that is a bit of a money grab. And it is pretty shameful, because to have it all to collect means that you're left out if you don't have all of it. I know it's a good business move. I will give them that. It's a good business move. And it is going to leave loads of people feeling left out if they don't have everything. Which is, to be fair, the aim of good business. I can't fault them for that. They are a business. But, it's just kind of a shame, because I thought the Doctor Who might be different about that kind of thing. But it is what it is. But the idea and the concept is very exciting. And I can tell they're putting a lot of resources into it. The fact that the producers come out and made a statement, this is clearly a big deal to the BBC. So that, in that respect, it is very exciting. So this was another interesting thing that someone found on some Doctor Who website or other that I saw on Twitter, is someone has noticed, I can't remember where, but it wasn't official. I think it might have been the just global Doctor Who website. It wasn't on the standard BBC one or whatever. I couldn't find it anyway on that website, on the usual Doctor Who website, but they found this, which is obviously placing this, as you might expect, between Waters of Mars and the End of Time. Which is an interesting gap, because the Doctor goes on about being the Time Lord victorious and how he went too far, and then he runs off into the TARDIS, and he's sort of shaken by that ood in that episode, at the end of the Waters of Mars. So, is this where we see where the Doctor goes full-on war? It certainly sounds like it. I don't know how they're going to bring in the 9th and 10th, I mean, actually no, I can see where they might bring in the 9th Doctor. The 8th Doctor is interesting in terms of where I place him. But I don't know quite how that works, because he looks so terrified by the thought of his death that he wouldn't. I don't think he would do it at that point. After that, he becomes so fixated on it. But the Time Lord Victorious is an interesting concept, because we never got to see it on screen in terms of that. Because in the End of Time, he's not that aggressive, let's face it. So we'll see. It certainly looks exciting to have it between those two episodes. So at least we've got a place for it canonically. And it was interesting that this website seemed to be deeming it as a sort of story, television type story, which is interesting to me. Just as a little fact, I guess. So these links were found on Amazon, but if you search Doctor Who TLV, and you'll find that these Doctor Who TLV Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1 is due to release on October 1st, and Volume 2 on December 10th, which gives us a sort of scale of when this will start and end. So we're looking September, October time and ending December, January time by the looks of it. As you can see, volume 2 is already on sale. So this is the thing as well. So not only have you got to buy all these other products, you've also got to buy 2 books. So, this is very ambitious, and I can see it falling in its face, because I don't think anyone's going to be able to afford to buy all of this. It's a massive move, but I think there's a lot of people talk about, in the days of toys, when they were back in their heyday, people talk about the oversaturation of the market, and I think this is definitely, in one way, an oversaturation of the market. So while I'm very excited by the idea of this, I genuinely am, believe me. I think the entire concept is mad, ludicrous and incredible, and just so tantalising for me as a fan of Doctor Who. But I can see it going so badly that we may not get any merchandise for like a decade or something, and the BBC won't try anything ambitious again. So while I'm very excited, I also I'm on the edge of caution with this, because I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to afford it. I'll be interested to know how many people will be able to afford this at all. But it's just interesting to me. It's very interesting to me, this line. But yeah, that's the 2 products that I found on Amazon. So this wonderful piece of artwork by Lee Binding here has also been released. Lee Binding is obviously very famous in Doctor Who for these kind of artworks. He does the collection Blu-ray artwork, he's done a couple of the standard DVD covers, and I think he's done a couple of book covers as well. I think he did Eye on the Master, I'm not sure, don't hold me to that. But this is a beautiful image, I won't lie to you, that's very beautiful. Lee Binding's work is almost always stunning. I don't think I've ever seen a piece of Lee Binding artwork that I haven't liked. In this image, we get some interesting reveals, and we got 2 different Dalek designs there, I think. 2 different, maybe a couple more if I look carefully. You can also see some very different spaceships. And one up there that I thought reminded me of the ship that Jenny uses in The Doctor's Daughter. Which would be interesting, because I would like to know what happens after Jenny, goes off in that ship. I know there's a Big Finish drama, which may well link into it. They might do Jenny Series 2 or whatever, I don't know. How many seasons of Jenny did they do? Did they even do a Jenny series? I don't know. I can't keep track with all this Big Finish stuff. I'm sorry, but it's just... I love some of the stories that I've listened to are very good, I won't lie. But it's just very expensive. But yeah, credit to the storytellers there. Some of the stories there are incredible, to be fair. And the ones that I've listened to for free are very good too, so props to them for that. But you can also see here you've got the Ninth Doctor. Ninth Doctor, I'm interested to see his involvement, because Christopher Eccleston has always been somewhat cautious, I'm going to say, of what he does for Doctor Who. In terms of, he's happy to turn up at conventions and charge somewhat extortionate prices, but we won't get to that. I feel like this is just turning into a rant about how expensive Doctor Who merch is. I'm sorry about that. I feel like I'm getting a bit carried away, because I would like to stress that I do think it's a good idea, I just don't think it's going to work in terms of financially for everyone. That's basically the video in a summary. You could have just clicked on here. I could have said, this is very nice, but it's expensive, and then I could have just walked off and I would have saved half an hour of your lives, but sorry. Sorry about that. But Christopher Eccleston's role in this will be interesting to me, because obviously there's comics, books, and all kinds of media in this. I don't think he'll do Big Finish, because he hasn't done Big Finish before. I think he could be mainly in comics and books. Maybe we'll see a couple of figurines or whatever. I don't think he'll be in VR games. I don't think he'll be in anything that actually requires Chris Eccleston to do anything. If he does, I will be very happy, because I have been waiting for new Chris Eccleston Doctor Who stories with him actually in it again for years. I really, really wish that it would happen. The 8th Doctor and the 10th Doctor, I would not rule out becoming in Big Finish dramas or VR games or experiences or whatever. I think that could be a thing, because I think the 10th Doctor might be more involved with the VR side than Paul McGann, because Paul McGann is very much nestling in Big Finish as his home, and he has done for many years. Basically, the thing wouldn't be the same without him. He's done so much stuff over there. He's done probably more Doctor Who stuff on Big Finish than any other Doctor. There are so many different box sets with him in, and it's basically his era, because we haven't really got an era for the 8th Doctor. So I think he'll be quite key in the Big Finish side of things. David Tennant I can see being a big part of, he's quite good in the comics. I've read quite a few good David Tennant comics with the 10th Doctor. But I think he might be, in terms of the VR games and the stuff that's going to be hard to sell. So stuff like that. And the experience stuff I think will definitely be spearheaded by David Tennant. Because I think that's going to be the most expensive thing, and he's by far, out of all three of them, the most popular Doctor there. I'm sorry, 8th Doctor and 9th Doctor stands, but it's true, let's face it. I'm sorry. But, we're learning some hard truths in this video. Sorry, but, yeah. So I think he'll be the thing to spearhead the expensive things, because he'll get more people to go and do it, because he's the most popular Doctor. I'm sorry, but it's true. The Daleks are probably going to be in all of this. I think they're going to be a key part of this. I don't know if it's going to be Time War necessarily. I did say Time War before, I never said Time War before, but I think there's potential that it could be something else. We'll see. The Ood in the tuxedo is also an interesting contribution to society. They are sort of servant slave workers, so it does not beyond the realms of possibility that would make sense. They maybe just be run into some big space lord or whatever, and that might be the case. And he might become a sort of pseudo companion, or it could be Ood Sigma. That would be interesting if we saw Ood Sigma come back. I don't know what is going on with Rose Tyler in that dress. Rose Tyler's involvement for me is an interesting one, because I could see it either being either way. Because you could have David Tennant in Big Finish Audios as well with Billie Piper, because they've done a series together. And to be fair, if they're doing it, like, unfortunately, I think they might be doing, where they have a Donna series, then a Doctor and Rose series, and then a Doctor and Rose, Donna series, which is the one we just had, and then a Doctor and Rose series, completely skipping Martha out again, even though she's just been introduced to Big Finish in this new Tortured Audio, which is what I fear is going to happen, because just give me more Tennant Martha, please, please. She's so good in Series 4, and 3, but I think she's better in Series 4, sorry, but yeah. And so that just about runs around my theories and thoughts on this exciting announcement. I hope you have enjoyed this video and you made it to the end of my long rambling thoughts about this new announcement, which I think is very interesting, and I'm interested to see where the BBC take it. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of whatever day this is. I've lost count. What time is it? The walls are closing in. I'm very sorry you had to witness that, but that's the end. It's the end. So yeah, it is the end, but the moment has been prepared for. Sorry about that. I don't edit this. I'm sorry. It is the end, but the moment has been prepared for. You can click below down to subscribe, turn notifications on if you want alerts for my latest videos and content. You can also leave a like down below. Let me know your thoughts on Time Lord Victorious in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.